Well, Jenny, it is so great to have you. Thank you for being a guest on Women Winning Their Way. How are you today?
I'm doing so great, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this.
Yes. Well, you and I met through our women's networking group, and I saw you speak at one of the events that we had. And, your story really moved me and touched me. And I really wanted to bring you on the show because I think it's one that many of us resonate. Here at Women Winning Their Way, we talk about the idea of pursuing our dreams and creating success on our terms. But sometimes our dreams are met with some negativity, especially from our inner circle. And this is something that you faced. Growing up in a small town, you had a dream. You knew you wanted to go into cosmetology, you wanted to do hair. And when you shared that dream, not everybody was on board with Team Jenny. So I would love to hear, tell us a little bit about that dream, how that dream came to fruition for you, and, what happened when you started sharing this dream with others in your world.
Well, you're absolutely correct. I'm from a small town. It's called Walla Walla, Washington. Now it's like known for wine country, and it's a really cool little city town to live in. But back then, it wasn't.
Oh,
There
we
was
only heard about it on our Looney Tunes cartoons. That's the
yes,
only time I heard
exactly,
of Walla Walla
exactly,
Washington.
exactly. And we actually didn't even have a cosmetology school like in that town, so I had to go elsewhere to get that education. But you know, um, coming from a family that doesn't have a lot of money, graduating from high school, and then people wanting me to have these big goals of going to college and doing the typical thing, not doing a trade school, but they really had this ambition for me to do so much more than they did. And hair school wasn't really looked at like a career that one was professional and two that you could make money from. So I definitely got a lot of pushback from my family and friends. They're like, why do you want to be just a hairstylist? I'm like, why wouldn't I not want to be a hairstylist? And to be honest with you, because of those words and those people saying those things to me way back when, that was like 20 years ago, that's always been in the back of my head to always make more of my career of being a hairdresser.
Mhm.
So now I'm not just a hairdresser, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a founder, I'm a CEO, I'm
Right.
a book author even. I'm
Mm.
all of these things. So it really gave me that fuel to like push me to do more within my career. And being, don't get me wrong, just being a hairstylist is amazing too. And they can make a lot of great money. But I just always had that like
Mhm.
fuel me, to be honest with you.
Right. And that's, what we talk about. And that's what I love in interviewing, these women like you is so many of us have this entrepreneurial spirit. And oftentimes that first dream is just the stepping stone to unlocking the other doors. But how did you find the tenacity, the energy? I remember one of the things you mentioned is that when people tell you, oh, you can't do that, your response is, oh yeah, just watch me. And that was a theme that you had in all different levels of building your career. But we still need support. And so where did you find that support when you maybe weren't getting it from your family or your inner circle?
I feel like I've been very lucky and very intuitive. I've just met some really amazing mentors along the way, like people that I really resonated to, and maybe perhaps they don't even know. Like in cosmetology school, there was this older gal who was just giving me like little life advice, and I really grasped onto that and brought that to the next level of what I was trying to achieve. And I think it's really important for people out there that have these big, big goals to know that you have to think of it like small stepping stones. And
Mhm.
that has been key to my success is one little goal achieved. I built that confidence and I'm like, okay, let me make that stepping stone a little bit bigger. And I just kind of kept on building my confidence with achieving those goals. And there was a lot of failure in there too, mind
Yeah.
you. But I
Well, wait
think
a minute, because I thought that when you wake up the next day, you're an overnight success. You mean to say that it doesn't happen that way?
I know. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I
Yeah.
mean, and
So
people
let's talk
want it.
about
I
And
think that's why people give up.
that's exactly why. So I want to talk about, give me some examples, like from a business perspective. What are some of the small steps that you had to take, to work on that, some of the people who are watching this and following this, might be able to take to heart, because now you are again very successful, not just from being a successful hairstylist, but again, you are an author, you have started a hair care line. I mean, again, you now have been brought back to speak at some of the cosmetology events. So again, you are a player in your world. But for someone who's starting small, whether in cosmetology or not, what are some of those small steps that maybe we need to look at?
I mean, I think it boils down to mindset. I reframe everything. Like if something goes wrong, I might have my pity party, I'll do my fair share of crying or screaming, whatever, get it out because I think it's important to get that energy out. But then I reframe it. I'm like, okay, well, that happened maybe because of X, Y, and Z. I just reframe literally everything. It's like that whole thing with, you might get a red light on your way to work, but maybe you just missed a car accident.
Right.
Like you got to just reframe it. And that's been really key to my success because it makes me happy and think about things a little bit differently. Like, this is okay. It's going to work out. And
Mhm.
I'm going to look at it perhaps in this way instead of freaking out about it.
Right. That's such a powerful lesson. And it reminds me of the saying that, life happens, for you, not to you. And I think that so many of us, we have these failures. We lose a client, we get fired, our business fails. And I've had all of those things happen too. But sometimes that is, the universe, God, whatever it is that you believe in, trying to put you on the right path. And it's sometimes very hard to trust the process. So I like the idea that you put it in a framework of let's reframe it. And that keeps you going so that you can again have your moment of sadness, scarcity, the pity party, but don't let that derail you from your dreams, because there's always another path to do that.
And, one thing too, I just want to add is I always think well, I know there's a solution to every problem.
Mhm.
And it might not like hit you over, like really quickly. It might take a second to figure out that solution, but there is a solution. You
Mhm.
just have to find it, figure it out, Google it, ask a friend, phone a friend. I don't know, but there's just always solution to every single problem. It just might take a second. And
Yeah.
again, that goes to building those stepping stones. It builds your confidence. When you overcome a big problem, when you find that solution, you're like, all right, like I feel like I'm
Mhm.
a problem solver. Like that should be on my resume at this point.
Exactly. And embracing that.
Yeah.
Can you think about maybe a particular failure that came up for you and how you were able to reframe that and get around it and find a new solution that worked for you?
Are you asking me about a failure? Because
If you have one that, if one that stands out for you.
oh yeah, this is a really juicy one. So, it was the peak of my career. So I'm an influencer as well, or
Mhm.
was. I've been influencing since the dinosaur ages, I feel. Um, but I had this huge following and all these gigantic hair companies were asking me to be on stage. And I had created my product line, AIR Professional. The branding was beautiful. I knew all the big CEOs, the investors, so on and so forth. So I actually set myself up with 7 investor meetings because I'm like, who's not going to want to invest in me? Like,
Mhm.
I have this huge following, this great concept, so on and so forth. And every single investor said no. They're like, who's going to believe in this holistic hair care that has crystals and mindset, blah, blah, blah. And I definitely freaked out and I was definitely very sad about it. But guess what? I own my business 100% today. It's 100% self-funded. It's owned and operated by a woman, and that's me.
Yeah.
And it's a multi-million dollar company.
You know,
So
yeah, that's incredible because, so many people would be in that moment and be like, nobody loves me. Nobody wants me. I've made a huge mistake. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But again, if all of that happened, you wouldn't have full control over your destiny and over your business, which is such a beautiful thing.
I always think of this as awful to say, but I always think of like, I probably would have some guy that doesn't even have hair that like would be running my business that has no idea about like hair care anyway, you know? Like
Exactly.
it's and I have full control and I can do whatever I want and I'm having a blast doing it.
Yeah, that is so great. And, let's talk about growth because, we all sit back when we're starting our businesses and that's what we want. We want the growth, we want the success. Then we grow, and that brings a whole new level of challenges with it. So, as you grew, what were some of the challenges, and maybe what were some of the lessons that you learned that can help some of us watching prepare and grow smarter?
Oh man. Um There I feel like there's so many. I think that again going back to there's a solution to every problem and entrepreneurs or go-getters out there that want to start businesses need to know that it's like steps. You're taking like you're leveling out, then you're going up and then you're going to kind of plateau. It's going to kind of be stagnant for a little bit and then you're going to grow some more. There's so many ups and downs. And to be honest with you, like I went to cosmetology school. Like I don't have a business degree, but guess what? If I can't figure out how to create a spreadsheet, which that was a thing a couple years ago, or make a business plan, or some of those things, like there are tools out there that you can find and resource or get a mentor that can help you out. And I think that has been the biggest help for me and in my success is being around like-minded individuals, first of all, like women, like networking groups
Mhm.
like we're a part of, right? Because you need that support. And then finding mentors that can help you and help guide you. And just again, knowing that there is a solution to the problem or figuring it out.
Mhm.
It's, you have to have this mentality of like, you know what? I might not know the answer, but you know what? I'm gonna figure it out kind of attitude.
Exactly. As busy professional women, we need to stay on top of our health and energy. The Working Women's Channel is proud to partner with Snapback Energy as a sponsor for today's episode because they help us to show up as the best version of ourselves so we can take on the day no matter what is thrown our way. At Snapback Energy, their scientifically perfected formula is made to make you feel great, and it also is going to increase the overall energy level you have and the health of your gut and liver. Let Snapback Energy be part of your day and help you build the energy to fuel your mind, your body, and your goals. So let's talk about this mentorship because I think a lot of people are intimidated. They have that of, oh, I would love to reach out to this person and learn from them. But you know what? I bet they're going to say they don't have time, or they might say no, or why would they want to help me? What are some of the best ways that you have found to find and engage a mentor?
I mean, that is a really great question because I have gone through a couple paid, a couple free
Mhm.
ones. I found the best one right now, but I went through a couple and you have to vibe with them. You also have to make sure that their vision is in line with your vision. But there are a lot of free resources. And I can't think of the one that the SBA offers off the top of my head, but I went with them for a long time. But the Small Business Associations
Mhm.
has mentorship programs and
Right.
it's free and it's these very successful entrepreneurs that give up their time for free that want to help small businesses. And
Mhm.
that's what I did at the very beginning until I found my current mentor and they were very supportive.
Yeah.
But I think it's also just networking and I'm a firm believer if you don't tell somebody like, hey, like I really need help in this area, like you're not going to get it. Like ask for help. There's nothing wrong and no shame in asking for a little help because someone might be able to point you in the right direction that someone can help mentor you or help you in that way.
Exactly. And you mentioned these free resources. I think that that is really important because especially when we're starting out, sometimes we just don't have the funds to hire a high level coach that could be thousands of dollars each year. But even again identifying somebody and following them, on social media. There's so many people that, I respect and I follow and see what are they doing. I read their books, I watch their videos on YouTube, and those can be considered mentors as well. But like you said, there's so many people out there. And sometimes I even encourage people don't necessarily find a mentor that is 100 steps ahead of you. Find
Mhm.
someone that's 5 steps ahead of you, because you want to be with people who can also remember where you are now and be a little closer to the skill sets that you need.
For sure, and I feel like you made a really great point about that too, because it's kinda like going back to what I was saying with the stepping stones, you wanna build that confidence
Mhm.
slowly, like, you don't wanna be so overwhelmed with these big ideas that you're like, "How the hell am I gonna get there?" You wanna, like, be very a few steps below them so that you know that it's achievable, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, and find people who are, again, having success. Don't look for mentors who aren't having success in the
Oh, for
areas you want to
sure.
have successful. I just think we need to sometimes put that in there.
Right.
I want to switch over to be a woman in business. And, what do you think are some of the strengths that we as women bring in being a business leader in today's world?
I think the caring component, being empathetic, understanding. I feel like I'm very intuitive to like my employees or even just like my hairdresser pro team. I love feeling underestimated, like, or is that the right way? Like, I feel like I love it that I can walk in a room and I'm blonde and I have my nails, I have all the things. I might look cute, whatever, but I can hold my own in a business conversation,
Mhm.
and that is powerful in my opinion.
Yeah, hugely powerful. So I want to learn more about your product line, because again, you started off, cutting hair and thinking that at that stage, this just might be what it was. But now it's turned into, again, this global industry for you. So tell us a little bit about how you kind of got this idea and took this idea and turned it into a global product, and what is the purpose behind it.
Well, you know what? I feel like it's like everything we just talked about in this is kind of that mindset and knowing that you can go further and achieve your goals, because I really kind of took all of my learnings and my practices and brought that into my hair care. So, um meaning that like mindset, and I do yoga, I say daily affirmations.
Mhm.
Most of my passwords to all of my things are like affirmations, like I am a, something positive about myself, because I came from a very negative family background, so I had to kind of learn and change my neural pathways or whatnot. So anyways, point being, with the product line, it's crystal infused, and placebo effect or not, everything has a meaning. So, like, for example, the shampoo and conditioner has sapphire in it. And my thought is like, wash away what no longer serves you. And
Mhm.
sapphire is the stone of inner strength and inner wisdom. And so then condition your hair with that inner strength and inner wisdom. And then you have that black rice protein, the things to give you inner strength of your hair as well. But our whole tagline is turn your routine into a ritual. And it's just meaning putting purpose behind everything that you do, like starting with your shower or your hair care routine. Wash away what no longer serves you. You had a bad meeting, wash it away. I got this inner strength right now to get through this meeting. And then every product has a purpose like that. Like our amethyst smoothing cream, like amethyst is a stone of a natural calm energy and natural anxiety reliever, and smoothing cream calms your hair. So it's like, put that into like a ritual. You know what? I'm going to calm my flyways. I'm going to calm my energy too.
Mhm.
I'm going to get through this day. And there's affirmations on all of our bottles too, and they change every production run. So just like that little reminder, I'm not
Mhm.
afraid. I embrace courage, success, and self-worth. So again, like I feel like it really resonates to my journey, because
Mhm.
affirmations are things I had to really look to for my success. Like, you know what? Pity party? No. I have the courage to get through this, So, and then the crystal component, I do yoga. But it's definitely very chic. I do yoga. I do like to have my cocktails over the weekend,
Mhm.
so it's like just about balance though,
Right.
like holistic and woo woo doesn't have to look like it comes from Whole Foods, it can look chic and sophisticated
Right.
and be very meaningful. So
Yeah. I love how you brought though all of that around and brought in again the minerals to, have that connection and really bring again that, that marriage together of the earth and the spirit. And, what a powerful, not only message, but I love the idea of, yeah, let's just create a ritual. Let's wash away what doesn't serve us anymore. That's so fantastic. So, Jenny, you have just created such a beautiful, I'm going to say, message, life, existence. And you really are inspiring so many. Again, as an influencer, I think one of the biggest reasons you have been able to influence is because you speak truth, you speak value. You want to give back a lot of the beauty that you have found along the way, and building that inside your community, I think has just been so wonderful. And I've loved getting to know you and following your journey. As we start to bring all this together, we definitely are going to put all of your information in the show notes. We're going to put your website, we're going to put in where everybody could buy these amazing products. But I would love to ask you, sitting where you are today, knowing that you're no longer just that little girl from Walla Walla, Washington, that you're not just a hairstylist. When you think about success today, how do you define success for yourself now?
I honestly think it's growth. I think it's personal growth, mental growth, and doesn't have to be like money growth, but I just think it's growing, learning, growing in every single aspect you can. Like that's success to me, because if you're not growing and you're stagnant, like what fun is that, you know?
Definitely. Gotta grow. Gotta grow. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been wonderful to have you as a guest. And I know your messages are really going to resonate and inspire others to get out there and make their dreams come true. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, everyone. Well, I hope you took a lot of notes because I know I did. And as I was listening to Jenny, I mean, man, I want to get out there right now and go and even conquer more of my goals. And I feel so much more confident. Some of the things that she talked about is, this idea of no. You're going to hear a lot of no's on your journey, and just flip the switch on that. Flip the script. Sometimes those no's are putting you down a path to get the right yeses. So don't take no as an obstacle. Take it as another opportunity to find the solution that's going to be the best one for you. She talked about this idea of reframing. So, again, when something happens, when those challenges come up, how can you reframe it? Well, maybe this failed because there's a better way to do it. And going in with the idea that, again, there is always a solution out there. And one of my favorite things that she said is, yeah, you want to underestimate me? Sure, that'll be fun. Knowing that when you do the work, you are going to show up with the right to be there at the table, to own your success, to own your goals, and to own what is on the other side. So know that you have everything inside of you. So again, make sure that you are following Jenny, look into her products, because again, she is looking to help heal you, inspire you, and give you the courage on the inside so that you can go out there and make things happen externally as well. So thanks for watching. Know that no matter what your dreams are, big, small, even if you feel like you have no one in your inner circle, you have the community here helping you, believing in you, and guiding you. And we are here to mentor you, support you, and again, give you that fire on the inside so you can accomplish great things. I'm Clara Capano. Thanks for watching another episode. Make sure to like it, share it, review it, and stay tuned because we're going to have even more great shows coming. I'm Clara Capano, and thanks for watching another episode of Women Winning Their Way.